Hey, it's Adam Lavelle, the wrestling snob, coming to you to talk about another pro wrestling Noah show, Sunny Voyage in Shinagawa. This was the first match of the day of two, first show of the day of two, which was on November 30th, 2024, which is still today here on the East Coast of the United States for another couple of hours. Anyway, looking down at my clock here. This was an excellent show. It was all singles matches. And boy, if you want to get my wrestling motor running, give me a bunch of singles matches. I have nothing against tag matches, but I don't feel like anybody, including Noah, does a lot for tag teams anymore. For some reason, WWE, AEW, Noah, New Japan, nobody really does tag teams that great. Maybe Stardom, with their tournament and what have you that they do. Maybe Marigold will get there as well. But honestly, I'm not saying tag team wrestling is bad. I just don't feel like it's a focal point by anyone, except maybe Stardom with that tournament they're in right now, actually. But I don't know. But I love this. There's no 4 ways, no 5 ways, no 8 versus 8 and 5 versus 5, 6 versus 6. Thank God. Let's jump into it. Oh, thank God. Goji Ozaki overcame Kai Fujimura in an excellent master versus student match. Now, look, very few in this world are as good, definitely better than Goji Ozaki. You're just not going to find them too often. Even though my boy, Alexander Hammerstone, beat Goji Ozaki a few years ago when he came to know. I wish he'd come back. But I digress. Kai Fujimura looked like $1 million here. I mean, since he has stepped it up and graduated into the main roster, really become something other than a young boy, he has been impressive, and he was here. But again, we're talking about Goji Ozaki, who overcomes Fujimura with a ridiculous lariat, as is frequently the case. But I'm telling you what, Kai Fujimura continues to make a name for himself, as he did here in a great opening match. The next match was Jack Morris taking on Tadasuke. I love this. I love both these guys. I was a Tadasuke fan before being a Tatty Daddy fan was cool, if you will. I always saw something in this guy. Back when he was playing a rock star, back a little bit before that, I always thought he had something. And I'm glad that Noah seems to have noticed that. And Jack Morris here, even though Jack came out the victor here in an excellent matchup, 7-minute match, wasn't real long, which I'm fine with. I do not need long matches. Tadasuke proves that he is someone that you have to take serious, and I hope he gets a decent run with the junior title eventually. He's had a few tag title runs. I think he deserves a decent run with the junior title. I do. Jack Morris deserves a run on top. I think he's a future GHC heavyweight champion. I'm not crazy about him as a heel. He's still excellent. He's still great, and honestly, him and 2000X are a classic heel group like I've not seen in years. So I'm not insulting him, but I just think he plays better as a babyface, and I think eventually he'll be a babyface heavyweight champion down the road. But this was another great match that Jack Morris comes out on top, down to the very wire it came, with both guys getting near falls several times. I really like this. Then we had Keno, my boy, my man, Keno. One of these days, I'm just going to slip that old Congo shirt on and wear it for one of these videos for old time's sake. Took on Yuto Kikuchi. Now, those of you who watch my videos know that I've never been crazy about Kikuchi. I don't know why. He's good. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not knocking his ability at all. I just think he comes off as an independent wrestler still. He doesn't feel like and he's not. He hasn't been around that long, so I guess he's not a full-fledged Noah guy, right? His style definitely isn't, but he fits in good with the Rattels. I'm not wild about the sort of makeup looking. I think he wears makeup. I'm not crazy about his look and his style and his sort of Jeff Hardy wannabe kind of thing. I don't know. But this was an excellent match. I mean, he went over 10 minutes with Keno, getting numerous near falls on the multi-time GHC heavyweight champion. He attacked Keno at the bell, just instantly jumped him and got the match going on the outside. Keno had to storm back. Keno sucked it up, beat him down, and treated him like the bitch he is, as most people are to Keno, and defeated him. But Keno went to shake his hand afterward, and Kikuchi slapped him in the face. Well, I'll be damned. Stepping it up. I'm waiting to see where Kikuchi goes. Again, I think he's good. I can't really get into him, though. I don't hate him. I watched this match and enjoyed it very much, but there's something about Kikuchi that just doesn't do much for me. Unlike someone like Keno, who I think is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and it's not just me thinking that, it's been proven time and again. Next matchup was Alejandro taking on Ulka Sasaki in a 12-minute match. Look, nobody Nobody in this company has shot up the way these two have. Ulka Sasaki, as a former MMA guy and a rookie in the wrestling world, has looked like 10 million bucks. And Alejandro, the small junior heavyweight masked lucha style wrestling guy, has really proved his worth in Noah and has become a major player in this company and continues to rise here. And the match he gave to the superstar Sasaki that Noah wants him to be, as he is set to take on, as of just a few minutes ago, the new United States champion, WWE United States champion, Shinsuke Nakamura. And if he can keep that title until New Year's, he'll be bringing that baby over to take on Ulka Sasaki. Will it be a title match? We'll have to wait and see. But that's pretty big news. Ulka Sasaki overcomes Alejandro, but when I say he overcame him, he had to overcome him. I'm telling you, Alejandro gave numerous close calls and scary moments to Ulka Sasaki, and it wasn't because Ulka Sasaki overlooked him. Sasaki was working hard and had to work hard to win this excellent matchup. Theme of the night, is it not? Then we had Masa Kitamiya taking on Hayata, which I thought might be a little bit of a squash, and I like Hayata. I know there are people out there that don't, that think he's too plain, think he's too bland, think he's too boring, think he's too stoic. I mean, I think he pulls that stuff off well. A lot of wrestlers can't pull that "I don't talk much" thing off well. They're just a guy that can't cut a promo, so they're down low on the card. That's not Hayata. This guy can go, and he proved it here. Masa Kitamiya, again, having to fight for his life against the junior heavyweight, one half of the junior tag team champions here. And it bothered me a little bit, even though I am a Hayata fan. I enjoy Hayata's work. I like him as a singles. I like him as a tag wrestler. I think he's one of the best juniors in the world. Masa Kitamiya, though, I don't feel gets enough wins, if you will. He won this. He took Hayata out, thankfully, because that needed to happen. But it was a hell of a bout. I think this was Hayata's match. Don't get me wrong. I prefer Masa Kitamiya over Hayata, even though I like them both. But Masa Kitamiya, I think, deserves a bigger singles push, if you will, than he ever gets, because all he is, he's always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Hayata, though, gave him a hell of a match. I'm not sure I like that. I'm not saying it should have been a squash match, but I feel like Kitamiya probably should have went over a little bit stronger here than he did. Doesn't mean it was a bad match. It was a good match. Next was Manabu Soya, the national champion, taking on Yohei. And you want to talk about a shocker? You think me saying Hayata gave Masa Kitamiya fits sort of annoyed me? Yohei, the Playboy, or whatever they call him, took Manabu Soya, the national champion, to a 15-minute time limit draw. What? Now, am I complaining? Somewhat. Am I complaining about the match? No. Yohei, this is one of my favorite Yohei matches, because he stood tall against Manabu Soya, and it wasn't overly ridiculous. It was a little ridiculous because someone as small as Yohei is, giving the fight to Manabu Soya that he did, kicking out of the moves that he did, it was a little ridiculous. There's no way a guy like Yohei, who I like and respect, again, multiple time junior tag team champion. Has he ever held the singles junior championship? I don't remember. I don't recall. Please forgive me for that. But he's great. One of the best juniors in Noah, for sure. But man, him surviving the onslaught of Manabu Soya for 15 minutes, it was good, it was solid, it was well worked, and it wasn't too hokey. Again, for this to happen, it has to be a little hokey, right? It has to be a little hokey. And it was. Not comedy, not yuck, not gaga. I'm just talking about Yohei surviving the shit that he survived. And he provided a lot of offense, but of course he would have to. He sort of did the hit and run shit, right? But when he was caught and manipulated, and because Manabu Soya could do to Yohei anything he wanted, and Yohei survived time and again for 15 minutes, I found myself scratching my head, but overall it was not a bad match at all. Not my favorite, but not bad. And that led us to the main event. Kaito Kiyomiya took on Harutoki. I like this Harutoki kid. I do. I think him and Owada are two of the biggest stars in the company. I think Harutoki and Owada can morph into heavyweight contention. I think they can get their weight up, they can get their muscle mass up, and they can become major players on the heavyweight scene. And Harutoki proved that to Kaito Kiyomiya. Let me tell you what, I never felt like Kiyomiya was in danger, but Harutuki gave Kiyomiya an excellent match and proved that he's a definite up-and-comer. I mean, this wasn't a title shot or anything like that. No reason it should have been. But this was a testing match. This was a proving ground match. And Harutuki proved it, even though he went down to Kiyomiya in the end of the matchup with his Shining Wizard. He blocked one of them. Incredibly, it looked great. The little measuring one where old Kiyomiya is looking like my man Muto. But the second one hit, and at the 13-minute mark, took out Harutuki. But afterwards, Harutuki shakes the hand of Kiyomiya and wants to join All Rebellion, and Kiyomiya agrees. So we have a new All Rebellion member, Harutuki. And I think that's only going to help him in there with all of those winners in Pro Wrestling Noah. We were a winner with this show. This was a oh my 10 out of 10. I was going to say 9. But no, I got to be fair. I got to be honest. I got to be truthful. This show made me feel great. I was a little sleepy watching the show. It was late. I'm a first shift worker. It's hard for me to stay up super late anymore. Back in the day when I was a third shift worker, I stayed up all night with no problem. For the past year and a half, I've been a first shift worker in my new, more loftier position, which I love so much. It's made me a little sleepy during the shows, but this show had me on the edge of my seat because it was all singles matches. Every match was very good and solid and strong. Kitamiya and Hayata, very good, but Hayata surviving all that. Yohei, Soya, Yohei surviving all that. But look, Hayata and Yohei are two of the big main name star players in Noah, so I get over it. I get over these small fries surviving against men that look like they should kill them. All right. But I do think it hurt Soya and Kitamiya just a touch to struggle with those two as much as they did, but not the end of the world, not enough to shave points. I loved this show. No commentary at all. I've been tempted to do commentary for Noah sometimes, shows like this, run my own commentary, put it up. You would click the show, click my commentary, and have it at the same time. I'm not sure if there's any demand for that or not. Someone would have to let me know what they think of that. Even if I get a handful of people that might be interested, I'd consider doing it. But that's my view of the show, 10 out of 10. You give me shows like this, and I am a happy-ass camper. No comedy, no noodlehead, Black Men Sue Ray having to put up with his nonsense. Nothing like that. Straight up, badass, kick-ass wrestling done right. Pro Wrestling Noah. I'm Adam Lavelle. Wrestling Done Right.com. Check it out for my bio and everything that I do for the world of wrestling. The only thing I ask you to do, please subscribe to this YouTube, and I'll be back before you know it.